situations and circumstances that have been presented before me, I find myself having to delve into this part of human experience. That's people cheating on their husbands, cheating on their wives, cheating boyfriend and girlfriend for years, having relationships, SOs, people who they committed to cheating on them, and then at some point, people like to seek out help. They want to seek out counsel. They want to seek out a way to, can they reverse the damage? Can they be forgiven? Can they find a way to fix what they have destroyed? And so I find myself in the middle of just counseling human beings through their mistake, through their, I find myself just looking into it deeper. And I realized something. I said it this last week in part one. If you go to part one, you have to just get past the first few minutes and get into the lesson. But I said you got to move past the dopamine, move past the oxytocins, and move past the serotonin, all those feel-good chemicals of the brain. When you have an affair, when you're cheating, when you're lying to your husband, lying to your wife, sneaking around your boyfriend, your girlfriend behind their back. There's more to it than just those chemical reactions that get you hooked up in the fog of cheating. There's also the voices, and that's the component, that's the aspect, that's the vantage point I'm trying to introduce to people. Now, maybe you know somebody, you can just share this message with a friend, or pass it on for later viewing. But I do believe it's a problem. People are cheating, people are betraying their husbands, betraying their spouses. And I'm saying this too because it's happened, betraying their girlfriends and their boyfriends of significant time and grade. And it's a problem. And it's not just, again, it's not just the chemicals in the brain that make you feel good about cheating. That's not what's going on here. So I'm just trying to bring to the situation a different perspective. If you're a believer, you say, well, why would you deal with this? Because the Bible says all I get and understanding. And one thing that it points out is Jesus himself, people misunderstand. I'm not religious. I am a person who believes in a divine creator, that believes that there's a divine being who is intelligent, who created us and designed us. And he knows how we should work. And when it comes to relationships, human beings now are trying to live in a way that's antithetical and really is anti all their natural, what their natural tendencies are. They try to go against them, but they don't work. And so when it comes, so I want to talk about just the idea of people cheating, and because I had the opportunity to deal with situations before. It's really something I feel passionate about. I feel passionate about. Even my own experiences in life have helped me and make me approach this with humility and mercy. But it's something that needs to be addressed because it's destroying families. It doesn't just when you cheat and betray your spouse, when you cheat on your husband, or you cheat on even your significant others. When you cheat, you destroy not just them, you destroy their family structure, their extended family, the father, the mother-in-law, the father-in-law, the sister-in-law, the brother-in-laws. It's not that simple. And many times what happens is the reason that I'm here is because people turn to God. They turn to God. They turn to a counselor. They turn to somebody to help them undo the mess they made, to untie the knot that they tied, to find a way to recover themselves from themselves, to help themselves. Can their husband forgive them? Can their wife forgive them? Help me help my wife forgive me. Help me help my husband forgive me. Help me, teach me, help me, guide me through the process of restoring my marriage, restore my relationship because I messed it up. And I've seen the same destruction, the same guilt and shame become so much of a burden on a person who cheated that they almost go insane. And some become suicidal because they can't find mercy. They can't convince their husband or their wife who they cheated on to forgive them. They want to walk away. They want to divorce. And they can't take the idea, and they go to extreme measures trying to get rid of the guilt and the shame. And sometimes they result to again matters to to things that really are destructive. And so what I try to do is, you want to like get in front. And I said, if you see this message, you can pass it on to some of your friends who may not necessarily, because you don't look for help everywhere. But I'm telling you, there's certain things that I've seen, I understand that people need to get away from. I asked the question before, why, when you were married, why would a married person find themselves in a bar or a nightclub without their spouse? And why would a person who has a significant other, somebody committed to, why would they be in a place, in a bar or a club without their companion? And what I found out is just researching something, just read. What you see is many times people end up drinking in those same venues. As I said before, they think it's just those things, but it's not. I'm saying there's a spirit of destruction. There's a spirit of destruction that's right there waiting. And what happens is, I gave an example how if a guy or a girl walk into a venue, before you come to somebody for counseling, before you go for IC or MC, marriage counseling, individual counseling, before you seek out somebody to help mend what you destroyed. I mean, you destroy it. You didn't mean to do it. You wasn't trying to do it. It happened. You did something that night that you can't repair. So I'm trying to circumvent and give you the information and the data that you can say, hey, that's good counsel. That's some good wisdom for life. Help somebody else preserve their relationship. Because when you're at a bar or a nightclub without your spouse and you're drinking, you're in a place that's designed, I said before, for hookup and meetup. The whole spirit of the room, I gave the example of you walking through the door and you see a handsome guy and you eyeball him and he see you too, eye contact, and then a smile or a nod. You don't even realize, though nothing was said, you heard a voice. The voice is in your head. You said, wow, he's fine. But he said, man, she's beautiful. And you heard their voice. Those are all seeds. Those are all seeds of this. I'm going to call them seeds of destruction because you have no idea what's going on, but you're being played. You're already in the game and you notice someone and you out without your husband, without your wife, without your SO. You're there by yourself. That person walks up to you and begins to ask you, talking to you, small talk, and you're not there with your spouse. And then if you take a drink or you try drinking, you hear so many stories where alcohol caused somebody to make a bad judgment. And then they wake up realizing and the guilt and the same spirit of seduction that caused you to make that mistake by being in a venue without your spouse, without your husband. And again, I'm just giving out right now some sound wisdom. This whole thing is called wisdom for living. And I've seen too much destruction. I had to count through too many people recently because of this new hookup culture and people not having boundaries, having hard boundaries, understanding that marriage must be protected at all costs. And so, yes, am I angry? Yes. I've cried over other people's issues because it's devastating to see someone who've been married 6, 7 years, some even 11 years, go out one night with some girlfriends and without their spouse, went to the bar, had some drinks, some guy who was very attractive, well built, put together, talked to her, and whether her having hard boundaries, she talked back, he drank, and ended up against her own friends telling her she shouldn't let it go. She kept doing it, kept talking, ended up leaving with that guy, had sex with that guy, and wake up next day and devastated, but felt so guilty, could not keep it, could not hide it, went home, told her spouse, and it's over. There's nothing could be done because he was destroyed. I'm saying that's the part that angers me. That's the part that leaves me hurt. And that's the part that I realize nobody knows about the voices. You just hear about the dopamine and the serotonin and the oxytocin and the being in a state of limerence, all those terminologies. And I appreciate all those counselors on YouTube, on TikTok, everywhere who try to help people navigate betrayal and cheating. I appreciate it. A few on there I am friends with, but this is component they cannot approach. And when they come to the voices to set you up, and many times people don't even realize they're being set up. I've often said this just in general. Attractions can happen anywhere. There are men out here who are handsome, who put their life in the gym, six pack, abs, tall, they got their hair, they're well put together, and they got their money right, everything is good. So you can't avoid good looking people. You can't avoid good looking women. You can't avoid a beautiful woman with a nice body. You can't avoid that at your workplace, at the Home Depot, at the CVS, walking at the park. You can avoid. That's not the issue. The issue is not that they're in the world good-looking people. I don't know how many times I have read stories where somebody just said he was beautiful. He spoke to me. What's that supposed to be? I mean, so when you talk about these things, I'm trying to give you understanding that the voices are the problem because you don't know how to respond to the voices that you hear that set you up. Because when somebody approaches you, that's not a problem. If you're a married woman or a married man, have a girlfriend or a boyfriend to which you are committed to, there's an understanding that we're exclusive. We are not in an open relationship. We're not swinging. That's a whole other subject altogether. We are committed to each other. And you are out with your friends. Nobody knows you have someone. If you leave the house as a female and you go into some place or some venue or a road trip, God, who? Your friends, you got to have some hard boundaries. If you have your own personal self, hard boundaries, you're going to be hit on. Stop playing this game. I want you to stop this madness. When you go out from your house and you are married, you have a spouse, you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend you're committed to, and you go out to a venue, but there are people there to socialize, and the places are designed for hookup and meet up, and you are there without your spouse, you're going to get approached. And if you haven't established hard boundaries, the voices of seduction and the voices of destruction, as I'm calling them, they will seduce you and destroy your relationship. And the sad part is, this happened, so I'm aware. I asked somebody, well, why would you give your number to someone and you got someone? Why would a married woman give another guy her number, or a girl with a boyfriend? Why would you give somebody your phone number? Because the voices, all you saw was they were attractive and they're talking to you. They were handsome, good looking, nice. And we let these things supersede the reality that our wife or our husband or our SO is at home. We went out, they let us go out, and now we're going to betray them. And that's how it starts. Seeds of destruction and seeds of seduction. And here's the issue. I would tell you up front, the moment a guy makes eye contact with you and he finds you attractive, he approaches you, the end goal is sex. Don't play yourself. Don't go around the bush talking about, I want to get to know my friend. I just want to be a friend. It's not being your friend. Human beings don't beef. Men and women in a nightclub or a bar, even at work, people are trying to be your friend. They're trying to get with you, and the long game is always going to be played, especially in the office setting. I told you before, the voices that you hear, it isn't that someone approach you, say, hey, good morning, you look nice today, and they every morning go to work, some guy or some girl is giving you compliments. I told you it's flattery if the design is to get you into bed one day. Oh, it might be a long game, but the goal is to seduce you, to make you fall in love, to make you fall for them. And see, again, I'm going to give you information today and try to make you aware of the voices in the game. Because if you don't have hard boundaries set, if you're a married woman, a married man, or have a significant other you're committed to, and you don't have hard boundaries, then you already are a possibility of making a serious mistake, because the voices in the world are about destruction. Anything that's right, anything that's good. There's an evil in the world that will try to destroy anything that's good. So the moment you attempt to do something the right way, because in the end, when people turn to spiritual counseling, they turn to pastors, they turn to people who can counsel them and help them heal their marriages or recover themselves from their mistake, from their affair, from their cheating, they want help. And then they'll even pray. They say, pray for me, pray for us. So what if I can do something to help you prevent that, help you mitigate the need for prayer, help you navigate yourself? Because the issue, no one made you do what you did. You were seduced and you were destroyed because you did not have understanding, having hard boundaries. I said it earlier, when you go to work, you're there for a paycheck. You do not go to work for attention. But if you're a woman in the workplace and you're a man in the workplace, somebody will find you attractive. And they won't care that you're married. They won't care you have a husband at home. They will compliment you. They will love bomb you. They will compliment bomb you until and bring you coffee one day, then a donut, and offer to go lunch together. It's innocent, but it's never innocent. And so without hard boundaries, why is a married woman who's at work going to lunch with a man? Why is a married man at work going to lunch with a woman? Okay, our co-workers. You don't start those kind of friendships, especially when you get with each other too comfortable, talking about your home life, talking about your wife. And that's a number one no-no. And everybody knows that one. You never discuss your marriage in the workplace, anywhere. And I could at a bar, a club, anywhere. At a park, and we meet somebody. You never discuss your relationship with somebody else. Just don't do it. And I say, when you see how much destruction that is happening and how people end up in so much pain, the saddest thing about it is when the person who heard the voices and was seduced by the voices, and then it's the voices that lead to the actual events, the emotional affair that you hear people having, texting, Snapchatting, Instagramming, you know what I mean? Texting all day long, calling, and then texting turn to sexting. And then sexting is sending pictures. Oh, come on now. I had to do a lot. I'm telling you. You go from texting to sexting, from sexting to sending pictures, and then before you know it, what happens is the voices tell you got to hook up. You hear it, you feel it. And the sad part, scary part is because of spirits, you have all these feelings and you realize, well, you know what? These feelings are looking for release. You got to release this feeling. The tension is overwhelming. You got to hook up. You got to do something. And that person could be married too. Sometimes he's married, you are married. There are children on both sides, wives on both sides, husbands on both sides. And the spirit, the evil, the spirit of destruction and the spirit of seduction will cause you to wreck lives, to wreck it. Because the voices that you hear when you're in the shower and you keep replaying it and you're smiling and why does cheating feel so good? Then that's when you feel the dopamine and the serotonin and now you're in the state of limerence because you're so excited about lying. Ooh, you're cheating behind their back. You say, I'm going to see my sister, or I'm going to visit my brother, I'm hanging out with my brother with guys. You got a hotel room. I'm talking about stuff that's going down. And people are destroying their lives, and it's all a spirit of destruction brought on by a spirit of seduction. Because you don't understand, you have to respect your marriage and have hard boundaries. I said to you last week that one thing that I do not, I've said this from very day one, but you can't have your exes in your life. I don't understand how women think they can have male friends who they meet on the job or they meet somewhere and want to have a part of their life. How does a woman that's married have a male friend that she talks to and play with all the time? That don't work. I would tell a couple when they got married, don't have in your life, anybody go to counsel with me. I told them this. Your first year of your marriage, let this be you and your wife. Your first year of marriage, don't have nobody over. Don't go over people's house all the time. If you got a bunch of guy friends before you get married, when you get married, cut them off. Not turn to outside of your house with just you and him, but never bring your guy friends over to your house to hang out with you when you and your wife, or vice versa. You don't bring your female friends over to your house all the time, and even if you ain't even there, they there waiting on you to come back somewhere. No, 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 no. I'm telling you, I've seen too many things go south in that scenario. You have to have boundaries, hard boundaries. You have to have hard boundaries. I don't know how many people I've counseled who had blended families where a husband or wife had previous children from a previous relationship. I had to counsel them on, well, what do you want to do? How you want to carry this? And they made these hard rules of engagement. You pick the kids up, you stay outside. Have your ex-wife bring the kids to the door and they come outside to you. Do not go in the house and be in there for hours because I want to deal with it. I want to have to deal with what's going on behind the doors. And that's fine because that's the truth. You have to have hard boundaries. You have to have boundaries. You have to set within your own spirit what you can and cannot tolerate. So I'm saying that because though that's in the natural, you also circumvent the spirits of seduction and the spirit of destruction. You circumvent those spirits by setting hard rules of engagement. I don't recommend. I don't go to bars, but still, because of things I had to deal with, I have seen, I recommend that you don't go to places. No, these true stories. Now this one I know happened because I read it it was on the news some time ago. I saw that. Well, these girls took a road trip. I told you before, went to Las Vegas, and some of the girls already had decided to go there and cheat on their husbands. That was what the whole plan was, to go to Vegas and cheat. That was the pre-plan, and their husbands were sending them there, giving them money to go. But one of the girls wasn't with that. She found out what they planned on doing. Next day she got on the plane, came back home to her husband, told them what they planned on doing, and they told their husbands. They mad with her because their plan was to cheat. What kind of spirit is that? What's wrong with this generation where everybody telling me they missed out on something? I sat down one day and I'm a good counselor. I'm talking to you in generalities. This idea of missing out, that somehow being married to one person, y'all were virgins, got married, been married to each other for years, and now you meet people on your job, or you got friends to meet on a new job or at school somewhere. Now they're telling you missed out, girl. You can have you can have freedom now, you can have liberty now. You missed out on because they divorced. Many times they divorced already. They ain't got nobody. They're telling you missing out having one person. The same D every night. You can have you free. No. Somehow you missed out on something. And the whole idea now, and I'm not going to get into this subject. I'm simply saying that I've seen just as much pain from it, and those who say they navigated without any problem. But I've seen a lot of pain from polyamorous people who try to be polyamorous. They try to have a girlfriend in a situation, or they want to have an open relationship, and they open it, and then they find out that they don't like it. But now one partner do like it. So now the marriage is over because you want to close it, they ain't closing it. Because you wanted to open it first. Now you opened it, and now it's open. You see what's going on with your wife or your husband. Now you want to close it, and they don't want to close it. Because the spirit of seduction is in the world when it comes to these things, people. I'm just trying to bring a different perspective, a different vantage point. And I'm telling you, by the time you get to the situation, to the counselor, and you learn about the serotonin and why you feel so good about it, and dopamine, and the oxytocins, and all the other things, being in the state of limerence, before all of that, I'm telling you that there's evil in the world that sets out to destroy relationships. And when you don't know that, you think everything is just happening. So back to my original scenario. You find yourself walking into a club, somebody sees you. Everybody in the club or a bar is eyeballing people. They're eyeballing people. They're looking, and they're looking out from a spirit of lust. Oh yeah. Or it's a one night stand on their mind. It's on their mind is, who can I hit tonight? Say amen, somebody. I'm just trying to put you into a different frame of mind. And you may say, well, I'm a believer. That's not even what I do. Listen to me. Things happen in the church too. I'll leave it right there. Things happen everywhere when you got men and women and issues and problems and struggles. Things happen anywhere. I'm just saying, recognize the voices when something is in your head and you're talking to the boss at work, and the power dynamic, and calling you beautiful, and giving you promotions and getting your attention and want to go take you to lunch, and he's the boss, and everything like that. You look around, he's liking you, and you liking him, and he's all that foolishness. I'm just saying, all I'm saying to you is, I'm trying to tell you right up front what's going to be the end game. It's going to end with a sexual encounter. It's going to be discovered because them in the dark will come to light, and you're going to be destroyed, less decimated. And then your significant other or your husband or your wife won't forgive. They can't forgive from the hurt they're going through and the pain you caused them. Then you're going to lose your mind. Or the other extreme, you become so hardened that you get belligerent. And so, I don't like you anyway. And then you go the other direction. But that don't ever last because karma always catches up to that kind of evil, that kind of reaction. Because you know that person wasn't really hurting you. So I'm just trying to help put a plug with all that getting understanding. And people not understanding just because something's in the world, just because the world is allowing certain things to be, just because the world is offering you another word, polyamory. They're offering you another word, open relationship. They're offering another word, you can swing. They're offering you all these different words, and these words create paradigms, and these different paradigms we try to get involved in, and then out of that paradigm becomes a community you can feel safe in. And now you're trying to do something that's antithetical to everything that you are within. And then, you end up realizing, well, you can't do that because your husband and wife don't want to take that role. And in your head, you feel now you're missing out on something, and you're gonna crash and burn what you have to try something brand new. And knowing how those spirits work, knowing how evil works, the moment you say yes to it, the same spirit then will torment you and have you feeling horrible, and things will happen. And you want to come back to what you had, and you won't be able to. That's the part that's painful. That you see human beings making so many mistakes in relationships. You see human beings making so many bad choices. You know what I mean? And one of the things you run into a lot of times in counseling is the evil will have you creating a backstory that never existed. All of a sudden now, the husband giving you attention. Yes, he was. You went to work and somebody gave you attention all day. It was all about flattery to seduce you. Your husband and your wife at home, they work 8 hours a day. Whether they're a stay-at-home mom or a stay-at-home dad or they're working all day. They can't be around you like you're on your job all day telling you you look nice, that dress is beautiful, girl, you're fine, or you're just wonderful. No, they at work. You're doing their job. But this person on your job is bombing you all these accolades, all this adoration, and it's all fake to seduce you. And now you're thinking you don't get attention at home. But at home, there's gas bills at home, water bills, there's light bills, there's children, there's diapers, there's dinner, there's lunch I prepare, you can make plans. It ain't just about that. When you're in an affair, it's all about sex. You ain't got the hotel room, go to his house, you come in your house, and it's all about sex. It's all about sex. And what happens is you find yourself cheating on your husband or your wife to avoid offending your affair partner. In other words, you will sleep with your affair partner, but deny your husband or your wife. You won't sleep with them, you won't kiss them, you won't even talk to them, you ignore them, or to be faithful to your affair partner, to the person you're cheating with. How that's backwards. But that's what the spirit does. It changes the backstory. Now you believe everything was so bad, everything was so horrible at home. Yeah, you got a house, cars, you travel, you got kids, you laugh together, watch movies together. You always did it. And all of a sudden now you never did nothing until you get discovered. until you get exposed, until it blows up. Then you realize the truth, and then you're begging that they don't leave. You're begging them for forgiveness. You can't believe that this happened. And I told somebody this week, I was writing something, and I said, please do not say I love you. But don't tell them that. Don't say it didn't mean nothing. That's even worse. You can't say it didn't mean anything. Don't say it was a mistake. You know what I'm saying? It's been going on 2 or 3 months, a year, 7 months, 9 months. That's not a mistake. That's commitment. You don't lie to them. You don't gaslight them. No, you can't call that commitment. And I'm saying, I'm saying to you that the devil is real and evil is real. And don't be seduced. You know what I mean? You have a wife, you have a husband, you have children, you have family, you have memories, and then you will blow all of that up. Listen, I thought about this all day because I tried to find a different way, but when it came down to it, I kept saying today, you're doing all of this for sex that you already have access to. You're doing the same, you're blowing everything up for another D or another V. You blowing everything up. You just blowing it all up, and then you actually believe it was better, that you could have gotten better. But you never talk to your husband, talk to your wife about making it better. You don't discuss things. But you find out later on you do things with this person you never do with your spouse, it really asks you to. You wouldn't even do it with them. And you know why? I told you this last week. You know why the same spirit will allow that? So when you got to tell the truth, and that part comes up, that spirit knows it will destroy your spouse to hear that you did with somebody, a stranger, somebody who paid no bills, had nothing to do with your life, nothing to do with who you were. You did things with them that you rejected, you refused to do with them. That's going to further make them determined to leave you, to divorce you, to call it quits. I'm telling you that I'm trying to reveal to you things that you won't hear in other counseling. And I'm listening. I know all the terminology, all the words. I understand the natural counseling. I understand everything else that they talked about. I understand the fall of the relationship, being in the fog when it's all over, and almost like being on the drug or being addicted to it. Like you've been in it so long that now you're like an addict. You got to have that person. And I've seen so many times, a few times, I personally have seen that as soon as it's exposed, the affair partner who was the initiator is gone. They done with it immediately. They done with it. They done with it. And you left by yourself. And that's the other thing. The same spirit then will condemn you. How you feeling humiliated and embarrassed because you were used. And the first time you recognize that you were used, you know that you were used. And that hurts deeper. So I'm simply trying, and please, if you watching this tonight, please pass it on. Share with somebody else, because I'm seeing it all the time. Just share it on your Instagram. Just share it any way you can share it, because I'm seeing this destruction happen everywhere, and it's unnecessary. Because if people knew what they were being set up for, so I want somebody to circle back around to the being out and social events without your spouse or your significant other. Why are you attending social events with your so-called friends without your spouse or your SO? And then you're partying, you're drinking, you're engaging, and you're around people who don't know you have someone. And even though you got someone, you still find yourself communicating with people and you are married. Why are you talking to that man? Why are you dancing with somebody because you're at a bar? And we can do it because you're at a bar. You're at a nightclub and you're just being asked to dance. And you tell in your mind, I'm just dancing. But that person is trying to seduce you. You are their pick for a one-night stand. You are their pick. They chose you. So they keep buying you drinks. And you wake up in the bed, you wake up, and again, that compromise, that not having hard boundaries. That's why I understand before. Why are you going? If you're going with your girlfriends, the girlfriends need to look out for one another. If you have one friend who says we will cover for each other, that's not your friend, because it will come out, and you can't say, well, my friend, so my girlfriend, she talked me into it. No, ain't your friend in the first place. Anyone who does not respect your marriage is not your friend. Anybody who lets you cheat at their house is not your own. I shouldn't get into stuff like that, because it just you encounter so much stuff in the human drama, and then you realize you just want to help people. Now, so I can expose the ugly, can expose the spirits, I can expose how things work, then I can help somebody. Because, you know, one of the components, one of the things about human nature that I don't understand, that I understand because I understand, is that people don't understand that you can be married to someone and love who you're married to, but still find another person attractive. You can still find another woman attractive, a married woman, married man. You can find your best friend's wife could be attractive. You can find your best friend's wife attractive. You can find your best friend's husband attractive wife. Y'all can be hangout couples and find each other's spouse attractive. But that does not mean you cross boundaries. That's why you have friendships. That's why you have to understand, I want to say this though too. I get angry sometimes. Sometimes on YouTube, read some of the stories on YouTube. People always talking about they had a feeling, or they had a gut feeling or something, but they want to violate a person's privacy. Let me tell you something. It's called intuition for a reason. It's intuition. It's called intuition for a reason. It's a gut feeling, and a gut feeling is a God-given thing. It's real. When you think something's going on, don't be afraid to snoop. You'll be idiot not to snoop. Why you not going to look? At some point, you do look. You find evidence. That means what you felt was right. Don't feel like it's wrong to invade somebody's privacy when you're married to the person and you got an intuition or gut feeling that they're cheating or something's going on. You better snoop. I'm just saying, man, that cracks me up. You feel it. Something don't look right. If it walk like a duck, quack like a duck, look like a duck, it's a duck. You know what I mean? I'm just simply saying, human beings, we look out at our world we live in, and I just see so much destruction, and I get it. You know what I mean? That's why on the front end of life, religion has made people believe that they don't need God. I say religion because so many religious people have destroyed what humanity does. So many people, preachers and priests and people have done things that make God look bad. But because men fail does not mean that God failed. When I fail, doesn't mean that God failed. When I mess up, that means God messed up. So people stop looking at religion in the world and what men have done and say, that's why I don't. But when we get in trouble, you want to call on God. You say I refuse to go to church because what the preacher did. Well, that's the preacher. That's not God. So when it comes to when something happens in marriage, God knows how we should be. He knows He knows how to cause men and women to live together and have peace, to have great relationships, to have great lives together. That doesn't require, because there's a word. It's called adultery. It's in your Bible. It's in court. It's in the law. You know what I mean? Cheating. And I think betrayal to me is a more powerful word, because you betray someone, you disloyal, you betray someone, and it is what it is. But I'm just trying to. That's this is the reason why I'm creating a YouTube page, because it's hard over here on this page for me to do what I want to do the way I want to do it. I can't really get into this specifically issue, and it's kind of earthbound. It's kind of like it's carnal in a certain sense. but it's happening in the world, and I just want to help people in general. I think it's not from on this point, not about salvation, which is always the ultimate goal to make somebody be able to live, to choose Christ, to choose God. That's but the bottom line is people are being destroyed, and that itself is hurtful. So Jesus said, "I came to you life, have that life more abundantly." So I'm trying to help people recognize that there's an enemy of their life. There's an enemy of their existence, of humanity. And he's trying, and anything that's good in life, he will work to destroy it. So he keeps human beings addicted. I don't care if it's drug addiction, alcohol addiction, sex addiction, porn addiction, food addiction. People are addicted to anger, anger to popularity. People kill themselves now because the influencers they lose likes, or their pay taken down. They want to kill themselves because they lost credibility, or they lost, what is that? I'm trying to expose the devil. I'm trying to expose evil spirits in the world that is destroying human beings' lives because they don't know what they're dealing with. They think they're just dealing with thoughts in their head, but it's not just thoughts in your head. Amen. If you're a married woman, or you're a married man, or you're somebody that's committed to someone to be married in the future, you got a person who you committed to, have boundaries. Understand that that is your person. Don't do anything to violate what you have with that person. Set hard boundaries. Don't accept compliments at work. Don't accept some guy give you attention. He's not legal. He's not, don't think you need his attention. You're not at work for attention. You're not at that gym for attention. You have to work out, not to get attention. If someone acknowledges you, you can acknowledge them back. But anytime a person continues to try to talk to you, shut it down. You already have somebody, and they're good to you. So don't fall for the lie. Don't just do it because they're more attractive. There's always somebody more attractive than your husband or than your wife. Keep looking. Just you could be anywhere and find somebody who looks better than your husband, who's taller, who's more fit than your husband, who's finer than your wife, who's prettier than your wife. They exist everywhere. That cannot be a criteria that they just look better and they talk to me. Have a standard. The word is integrity and honesty. Be honest with yourself and have integrity. Do right because it's right. Don't fall for the okie doke. Amen. I want to thank everybody though again for who supported our Thanksgiving dinner this year. Feed the community. I appreciate everybody who came out and donated and made sure we can feed those people on that day. And the food program we had all year long, feeding the hungry all year. I appreciate all the help. And those who remember, we're doing this year, we're doing a family this year for Christmas holidays, adopt a family. Please remember to donate, just help the family have a great Christmas. Every child should smile on Christmas morning. Amen. I just believe that. But again, remember, coming soon, I got me a team together. I'm putting together my Facebook, my YouTube page, and then we call the same thing, With Wisdom for Living. I'm using my alter ego, not Pastor Bethel, Fluky Luke. That's my page name. I'm already ready. I'm ready to go. And trust me, I've been giving all my wisdom on that page on all kind of things, all kind of topics, politics, everything. I'm going all in. But this can be my primary focus. Going to be dealing with betrayal and cheating, and even good advice, people counseling, marriage counseling, good tips on relationship counseling, all kind of things. So I'm looking forward to doing that, to getting all this wisdom and all this experience out of me, and in a venue I can share it on a daily basis, not just every now and then. But create a page. But you better go to my page and look at all the different many what do you call them things on the bottom of the page? Anyway, I can't think right now. Anyway, we're looking forward to thumbnails. Amen. To choose a topic. So I'm excited about it. So then I thank God for Brother Mac, for my son Jason, for LaWanda, Blue Moon. That's between me and her, Blue Moon. And then Sister Kim, God bless you tonight. And who else? And others who are watching. I thank you for watching me and joining me tonight. And drop me a line if you. I know it's kind of different message. It's a different thing, different focus. But please don't email me, leave me a message on Facebook or on YouTube. Let me know what you think about it. Amen. Blue moon. We'll holler later. Hallelujah. Amen. God bless everybody. And I will see you guys real soon. Happy holidays.